Hello.
Hello, mate.
How are you?
Good.
Can I just say cheers?
Cheers. Remind everyone what your name is.
Hello, I'm Sarah Gaul, musical comedian.
Sarah Gaul, musical comedian.
Mm.
Where are we at the moment?
We're in I don't know how much you can see, but we're in the most absurd place. So we're in the Hunter Valley for a corporate gig, and I believe the place is called Chateau Elan. Am I saying that right? Elan? Chateau Elan. And it's just this beautiful, I think we decided a golf resort.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Crowdworkcast. My name's Andrew Barnett. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's episode, another one that's a little bit different. I recorded this one on the road with my old mate Sarah Gaul. So we recorded this. We were doing a corporate of sorts up in the Hunter Valley, which was a lot of fun. It's a bit weird. One of the nice things was usually with corporates, you're on your own, so it was nice to be able to do one, have someone to hang out with, and this actually was a lot of fun. This corporate, it was really good people, and we had fun. So we recorded the first part pre-show, sort of just out at the courtyard in Chateau Elan. And then we do a little bit of a post-gig debrief in my car. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll notice some very different backgrounds behind us. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And Sarah Gaul always is awesome to work and chat to. So if you enjoy Sarah, please give her a follow on social media. She's at Empire of Gaul, always putting up good stuff. And obviously, if you can give me a follow, Andrew Barnett Comedy on Instagram, Andrew Barnett Comedian on Facebook, and I am on TikTok, Andrew Barnett Comedy. So get around those accounts. Now, if you are enjoying the podcast, please do like, subscribe, do all that sort of good stuff. Other than that, that's all I really got for you this week. So enjoy this. This is a corporate episode with Sarah Gaul.
Yeah, it's one of these golf communities, I think. I don't know. It's one of those ones you Google. There'd definitely be a way they describe it.
Yeah.
But we're in the Hunter Valley. It reeks of weddings, golf weekends,
conference energy,
large
girls'
functions.
weekend, hens parties.
I don't know if you can see, or you probably can't see in the camera over behind you there. There's an old sandstone chapel.
I bet it's like 10 years old.
That's probably not that old.
So we're doing a corporate, which should be really fun.
Yeah.
Any corporate where we get dinner, where you're treated like a human being, I'm like, this is lovely. You know what I mean?
Do you do many corporates?
The thing about musical, let me tell you the thing about musical comedy.
Yeah, please do.
It either absolutely works or it absolutely doesn't. And I've done some really fun corporates. Actually, this very event last year was one of my favorites.
Really?
It really depends on who they are. So the short answer to your question is I don't do a lot of corporates, but when I do, they either go incredibly well or incredibly badly. I never do an okay corporate.
You never do an okay corporate?
Yeah, it's always just the worst thing I've ever done or the best thing I've ever done. Because, like, as we were talking about before, surprise comedy, when people aren't expecting it, is quite confronting. So if you're just having dinner, it's like, we've got a couple of comedians. Surprise musical comedy is, because people are like, why isn't she playing Jack Johnson covers? Why is she screaming at us?
Well, the other thing with music is, in a setting like this, over the freedom, call it, to just keep chatting
Absolutely.
Music is, for lack of a better term, often background music.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
actually, the actual worst one was at a restaurant, and it was with Daniel Muggleton, your friend and mine.
Yeah.
And we were booked they decided they wanted to do a comedy night at this restaurant. We were like, great, awesome. And then they said it was sold out. And we're like,
yes.
That's awesome. That's really cool, everyone getting around this comedy night. And then we showed up and it was sold out to families and people who had booked tables for Christmas parties and they didn't know comedy was on.
Yes.
And so, when you have to interrupt people's lovely dinners with kids as young as 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, big comedy fans.
Running around.
The toddler community are often big comedy fans.
You know what I ended up doing?
Oh.
Acoustic covers of my own songs.
acoustic.
Like background covers, my own comedy songs.
So basically, you're there as a for anyone who bothered to listen. You're like an Easter egg. Like these are comedy songs.
Yeah.
That's actually quite
I'd be like,
funny and witty.
I have a keep cup which I use sometimes. Like I tried to make it sound really vibey and just blend in with the
Like
general chatter.
Colby Calais style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's such a.
Can you count me in? Yeah, I like it.
I reckon you were someone who would look quite at home, like with a guitar sitting on a bench, kind of Sunday afternoon at the pub, like doing like Ed Sheeran covers.
Do you reckon? Man, I wish.
Yeah.
If I could play music, there's no way I'd do comedy.
Really?
Oh, God, no. I'd be terrible. Like, I'd be the earnest sort of... Sorry, we're just getting buzzed by a helicopter. I don't know if we can even hear that.
Oh,
But
sorry,
yeah,
it's probably someone... It's
Yeah.
probably landing here.
it could be.
Literally someone landing here for the weekend.
But, yeah, I'd be... Because I love music, but I'm hopeless. I
Yeah.
can't play anything. I don't have the... Like, I play it like I know 3-4 guitar chords.
That's basically it. That's
Yeah.
all of music.
Everyone says that, but I've never been able to put it all
And
together.
just putting them together in creative
Yeah.
ways.
Which is whereas my son is, he's
Oh,
he's
yeah, like,
obsessed with
super
guitar,
talented.
keyboard, and just loves it and gets it. And he's explaining to me, because he's doing music like now, and so he explains different music theory and stuff. He goes, yeah, like, this is my favorite scale, Dad, because it's minus, and it gives you the
Do you
emotion.
remember what his favourite scale
Oh
is?
no,
But
I
it's A
don't.
minor.
No, I don't think it is. He likes A minor, but I think he prides himself on not being a basic bitch.
Wow, okay. All right.
No, I'm
Getting
not saying-
absolutely dunked on by yourself.
I'm not saying no. Do you know what I mean? If that's your go-to of what it might be, then
F sharp.
he'll have a
F sharp minor.
probably
F sharp
something
minor is
bullshit
mine.
like that.
F sharp minor is mine because I play everything in. This is just getting a bit nerdy, but I play everything in A major because that's what sits comfortably for me. And F sharp minor is a relative, so F sharp minor.
This is the sort of stuff he talks to me about, and that's a relative scale. That I'm like, okay, yeah, mate. Yeah.
That's great.
I've
Also,
got relatives too.
anyone who can play a guitar and a piano, because I can't play the guitar and I've thought about learning, but if I'm not instantly good at something, I give it up. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm not good at music
Yeah.
because it took effort.
Because I understand guitar takes years to master.
Yeah, comedy's the first thing that I do. Pardon me. I do say though, if it hadn't gone well at the start, there's no way I would have ever done comedy.
I have two questions for you. The first one is, what is your worst corporate? Is there a standout for you?
Yeah, and I think I've told this story on the pod, but it doesn't. Who cares? So I did this one for a soccer thing, and it was their awards night. So big tables. It was beautiful. Like, it was one of those ones where it's set up like I had a green room. They fed me. And all they had an MC, so they just like, yeah, no, someone will come get you.
Well, that
when
all
your
sounds
event's coming on.
great so far.
Yeah. So it went
Yeah.
on. It's going fine. There's a table right at the front. Left stage, just talking. And I'm like, my attitude at this stage with those things is, you know what, they didn't count on the fact that there was necessarily going to be comedy. That's fine.
It's probably not about you. It's probably just
they're in their own world, right? And they were all sort of. I think it was maybe a team because they would have been early 20s, maybe all girls. And
they were actual soccer players. That was
yeah.
Okay.
So there's clubs, there's all sorts.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
these and so they're just having their night. And so I wasn't too worried. But then the other tables around them started shushing. And that's when I'm like, okay, now I need to acknowledge something because I can ignore it, but if it's annoying people, you need to. So I had a chat to them. They weren't happy. They stopped for a little bit, then kept going. And anyway, and then I look at the table at the other side. One of them goes, "Just keep going, you're killing it."
This doesn't seem terrible.
No. So I leave going, that wasn't fun because they were giving me filthy looks as I'm leaving.
Just that one table.
Yeah. So I get home that night and I'm sitting on the lounge, beer in hand, because it was reasonably early too. So I'm home at a reasonable time. I'm watching, I think we were watching a movie with my wife. We're like, beautiful. We're going away the next day for our anniversary. I'm like,
just right.
The weekend's opening up.
Yeah.
And I get a message on my Instagram. What's this? And I turn it on, and that table had filmed me on stage and they pan from me on stage to themselves, and there's like 4 girls just mouthing the words boring, boring, boring.
My God.
Yeah, so they looked me up. They didn't follow me or anything. They didn't know who I was, so they've had to look me up, find me on Instagram. I got cyberbullied.
Oh my God.
It was
also, what a waste of time. Like if I saw someone who I didn't particularly enjoy, I'd be like, oh, that was not for me, and then you just you'd never think about it again.
Yeah, that's not how everyone exists.
Okay, on the scale of worst gigs, I'm gonna give that, if 10 is like diabolical, I'm gonna only give that like a 5.
Okay.
But did it make you want to quit comedy?
No, it didn't make me want to quit comedy. Yeah. It made me want to quit Instagram.
Which every day, every fucking day. Which leads me to my second question. I don't even know this. Like, what was your first gig?
My first gig was the mic in hand.
How old were you?
27 or 28.
Okay.
It's 9. It must be 28.
Mm-hmm. That's the one in Glebe?
It's the one in Glebe.
How'd it go?
It went well enough that I did another one.
What did you prepare for it? Like,
did
you sit down and like?
Oh yeah. No, I'd written a set because I started I was going to a lot of comedy. I've been to a bunch at the mic in hand, and I wanted to try it. It was sort of half a bucket list thing, but then half a I was keen to see if it could work, and then it went well enough. I'll tell you my first joke I ever said. And
oh my God, I'm ready.
Horrendous.
I'm ready.
So bad. I went up and I said, so this is my first time doing comedy. I'm a virgin. Then I said, sorry, that's nothing to do with the comedy. Just never had sex.
That's funny. It's funny.
And I said, I kind of always thought it would happen, because you get married, you think it's going to happen, but then, I was tired on the wedding. It went all right. I was like tired on the wedding night, and then, kids come along and the miss. So and it was dumb, but yes, that was my very first, my very first joke I ever did on stage.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's actually not bad as far as first jokes go.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's, ugh.
I vividly remember my first ever comedy gig.
Tell me.
I was going to say not that you asked.
No. I was getting to it. Sorry, I was having a sip of my Coke no sugar.
Yeah, sorry, no sugar in that one. But also, I love that the person at the bar was like, would you like ice in your Coke Zero? And I'm like, I love it. And she's like, what kind of glass would you like for the Coke Zero? I'm just like, it's a Coke Zero.
I like this.
Yeah. Really attentive service. Anyway, so I was in acting school, right? At VCA in Melbourne.
This checks out.
Yeah, I was at acting school, theatre school. But then I dropped out because they explained to me it wasn't a comedy school, it was an acting school. Like halfway through, which is, you know what?
I'm in entirely the wrong place.
Yeah, I was going to be like, that's nothing if not true. And over the summer, I'd got given, because I'd played piano since I was a kid, but for whatever reason, when I'd got my room in this share house, someone left behind a small, like, terrible kid's keyboard kind of thing. Like, I'm talking one that's like this.
I love that you just skip over, I got my room in the share house. Like, that's...
Man, it was, it was such an iconic share house. It was in Port Melbourne. And I lived with 3...
I've seen The Secret Life of Us. I know the rest of this
3 like gross boys, and one of them lived in the granny flat, and like he was like a character from a sitcom because I saw him maybe once the whole time I was like that kind of guy. Just, like,
I know that. I know the flatmate.
Yeah, came into the house to like make a sandwich or whatever, like once a year. Anyway, but for whatever reason, there was this like I don't even know how many keys, like really small keyboard, and I just like started dabbling around with it. Anyway, so the start of my second year at VCA, there was a like a welcome show, and they're like, we want people to perform shit. And that summer, I had been dabbling around on this keyboard, and I'd written 3 comedy songs, and I'm actually genuinely struggling to remember. One of them is a song about vegans, which I still find funny, but I couldn't play anymore because we're all okay. We've moved on from bullying vegans. They're fine.
Whoa, someone's been living in Sydney's inner west.
Yes, I'm in the inner west. And I genuinely cannot remember what the other 2 were. And I know one of them is a song I still sometimes play, and I just can't remember what it was. Anyway, so I'd written these songs, and I was like, oh, I'm going to perform at this night. And it was at a place called Gertrude's Brown Couch in Melbourne. And everyone from VCA was there. And if you're playing to like 3 years worth of acting students, like you're going to crush if you crush, because like they're very vocal people. And it was upstairs in this like really, I just remember it so vividly, and I was really nervous because I'd never done musical comedy out loud before, and I didn't even know if I could remember how to sing and play, because it was like it was kind of like a new skill. And
Sorry. We're going to circle back to that, how long you've been playing.
Together, though, in performance. This was the first time that I had played piano for myself. Actually, I lie. In year 10 at school, I did it. Anyway, I'll circle back to that. But this was the first, like, performance. And I just remember after the first song, people stood up and started chanting my name.
Wow.
Like, that's how much they love the song. And I've never experienced any reception like that since. But I just remember being like, I think I'm onto something here.
Yeah.
And I just remember going over to the tech guy afterwards and being like, thanks so much, can I grow? And I think he had a piece of my gear or something. And he was like, oh, honey, after that performance, you can have whatever you want.
Oh.
And I was just like...
That's...
but it wasn't... it wasn't...
This whole thing sounds like... They sound like sitcom characters. Like the sassy...
But I just remember that was the night everything changed. Because I'm just like, I never feel that good after just doing an acting performance.
No, there's something much more satisfying when it's
your own shit.
Your own shit.
Yeah.
And it's not... Like, I know that... Like, that we write the jokes, and, like, I probably know most of what I'm going to say tonight, but it's still... It doesn't feel as much like reciting lines and trying to get into a character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's one thing, and that's fun, but this is... I don't know, this... I find... Yeah, this is a bit more...
Oh, and it just turned it around then. I'm just like, and then I think there was also at some point at acting school a project where we devised our own work, and I did this full like musical comedy number. And people were like, oh, did you write that? That's crazy that you can do that. And I was like, oh, I didn't think it was, just because it was what I really enjoy doing. And so I had so many, like, to that point, I had people around me encouraging me. That's why I was kind of like able to do it.
That's one thing I wish I could get back, is when I started, I used to get excited to sit down and try and write jokes.
Oh, and now it's like...
Yeah, now it's like, oh my God, I've got to write some new joke. Oh man, the kitchen needs cleaning.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm a bit the same. I get really excited to perform because I miss getting nervous. Because I don't get nervous when I perform. I get nervous when I perform new stuff, and I miss that. You know, when you just like I did some new gear literally at a gig last night, and some of it worked, some of it didn't. But you know that awesome silence after the joke you thought would work, and there's
that bead of sweat in the small of your back.
Well, I was like, well, this is it. This is what it's about. I gotta figure it out.
We're coming into that time of year where everyone's like, it's now, because I'm doing, like, as we record this, tomorrow night I do my show at the store.
Oh, I so wish I could be there. I'm at the comedy club.
Oh.
I'm at Newcastle Comedy Club.
You are? Yes. That's why we were going to try and do this in the car on the way up, but we didn't carpool because you're doing
how's it
weekend.
looking? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah. No, I'm feeling pretty good.
Great.
The show's good. There's
Is this a show I've seen?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. This is just an encore of the Sydney Comedy.
And
it's evolved a bit. Probably not this one.
Oh, I thought it was like it's a taping.
No, it's not a taping.
Just an encore. Just an encore. That's huge.
Yeah,
also, can I just say props to you? That's a really, really big deal doing a solo show at the store.
You know,
this really
is my first one.
It's a massive deal.
And I've it was one of those, when I first started, it was one of those goals. You know, like, you know, one day I want to do it solo.
Like, you should stop and like have a moment, because that's really big.
Yeah, I've got a couple of mates coming, and we're probably just going to go grab dinner afterwards, and just because, you know, they offer you, you want to do the show, like the showcase afterwards. I'm like, no, man,
absolutely fucking not.
I'm going to go have dinner and a glass of wine and
have some bevs. What was I going to say? Oh, that's right. I literally, because I'd like forgotten the memory. The first actual song I wrote, and you'll appreciate this.
Yes.
So, Ravenswood School for Girls, the school that I went to, years 10 to 12, scholarship kid.
You know it's a good school when it's a school for someone.
Yeah, exactly. But also, I want to give Ravenswood the due credit. Fucking fantastic school. I had the best time there. Like, I came into my own there. Everyone in my grade was so nice. It was one of those places where they're like, oh, you're good at drama. Here are all these things that we're going to do for you. Like, oh, you're good at music. Here's all these. It was just like, it was an insane place to go to school. I'm very lucky. But in year 10, they did like a school-wide talent show. And I had written a song about... and I can still kind of remember parts of it, but basically, a bird just came directly towards me and then peed it off last minute, and I got really distracted by it. Like, as in its beak point was coming towards me, and I'm like, if you get this on camera... Like, you'll never have to work another day in your life.
And I hope we got it. If we didn't, I'll put an animated bird in post.
So it was about pushy stage mums and about like child stars who are like a complete mess, but their parents are pushing them to do stuff. And it was kind of like this sort of diss song, like very basic, like 4 or 5 chords or whatever, like really like...
Just the basic 4 or 5 chord song.
But I remember I did it, and then they put me on, like it was a lunchtime thing, and they put me on at the very start when no one's there yet, and so no one got to hear my song.
Oh.
And I didn't get through to the next round.
You know what you needed, ironically? A pushy stage mum. Advocate for you.
My mum's like not a pushy stage mum at all.
That's what you needed. Someone, no. She doesn't go on then.
I am still rankled by the injustice of that experience. And I'm like, that could have changed. If anyone had... No one heard it. And then in music class, they all heard about what happened, and then I played it for them, and they were like, that's like, you know what I mean? Again, just being encouraged by people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was the worst musician in my class. Like, they would, like, you know, those kind of people who are just geniuses, like, can sight read anything, have every grade. Like, I was the worst musician in my class.
Yeah, that school, I dare say there was a fair few, started very young, got a lot of tutoring from a very young age.
Yep.
That stuff, man. That's, I don't know, music is one of those things that people are either like, because you can learn it, but then there's also
That's
people...
him.
That's
him.
the one?
That's the bird.
He's chirpy, that one.
Yeah, sorry.
They're making quite a bit of noise, aren't they, these birds? I don't know if it's coming through on the mic, but they're...
We're being, we're surrounded on about 8 sides.
Yeah. By these little noisy minor birds.
You don't do this in a podcast studio, do you?
No, that's the thing. Like, and he's flying right near you.
Do you reckon he's just trying to get some screen time?
Yeah. He wants us. He needs a stage mum, this bird.
Does your... wait, remind me what year your kids are in?
So, 9 and 7.
Year 9 and year 7?
Yeah.
Do they do performances at school that you have to go and watch?
Yes.
And do you enjoy them? Like, do you enjoy watching them and not the other kids? Because I think that's the universal experience.
They've hit that age now where the school they're at, the performances, because they do, like, they're in group things, so they're not too big a night, but they're also at a stage where the actual performance is, like, reasonable. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not...
I think it's funnier and more entertaining when they're all terrible, like in like year, like kindergarten.
Yeah, in kindergarten, that is. But then you go through, so the early doors, it's cute, because they're not even facing the right way.
Oh, it's adorable, yeah.
And you see the kid that's just looking at the other kids staring like, why are you doing action? But then there's a middle period where it's just like, oh, this is you know, this is fine. And then, but then they get better. Like, it's like kids' sport. Now, I don't mind going to
you'd be spending every weekend at kids' sport, right?
Yeah. But I don't mind going as much now. No, I've never minded. Like, I don't whinge too much. But, like, I can go along. Like, I've got to go, this weekend I'll go to my son's cricket, and they're at the stage now where it's like going to a game of cricket.
Yeah. Which, I'm going to be honest, I can't imagine anything worse, but also, like, that's just me.
You know what? You've got a lot to learn, Sarah. We'll get you on board. We'll take you to a few T20s this summer.
T20s.
Actually, BBL. We'll get you down to the sixes.
BBL to me is a Brazilian butt lift.
Okay. Well,
what's a cricket BBL?
The Big Bash League. It's the domestic 2020 league.
You know, like the Kim Kardashian kind of butt look. That's like a thing you can have done. That's like,
to be honest, that's
not for everyone.
No, I don't get the big ass, big lips, that looks fake. Like,
you know where I land with this? I'm like, do whatever you want. I'm like, absolutely, I don't give a shit what people do. But I'm like, don't pretend it's real.
Yeah.
Don't set the kids or the people who follow you up to be like, if I go to the gym, I can do that. No, that's a purchased. That's a thing that they bought. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's where I land with that.
I had Brent Thorpe on this, and he was big. He was talking about how and it's something I hadn't thought as much about, how none of the Hollywood hunks admit that they're on PEDs and...
Oh, they've all had full-on work done. Hair plugs.
But they're like testosterone, or they're on...
Is that steroids?
Steroids and stuff. Like, because because the frames they're walking around in, you just can't do it with.
Oh, and they're on GQ being like, yeah, no, I just do CrossFit and play golf. It's like, nah,
Yeah.
you're on. I don't know if I can say cunt on here, but I did. You're on something.
It's the internet they don't
Yeah,
like that.
it'd be fine if they're like, yeah, here's all the things I'm on, and I do it for this, and blah blah blah, movie role,
Yeah.
as if they ever would.
But it's just, it's crazy, all that stuff.
Wait, so we're going to the Big Bash League.
Yes.
What does a day at the big, like...
Well, it's not a full day for starters. This is why it's entry level for you.
Okay.
It's 2020, so it's shortest format of the game. We get there. I'm
Where
pitching-
is there?
Well, this is the thing. You're in Sydney. You
Okay.
got a choice between two teams. You can go with the Thunder, who are the Greater Sydney team,
Okay.
the Western Sydney team, or you can go, and this is where I see you fitting, is the Sixers. So the Sydney Sixers, they play out of the SCG.
Okay, that's
So the
Big
Thunder play out of
venue.
Homebush.
big venue. Big venue.
Yeah, well, that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
It's there for cricket. It's called Sydney Cricket Ground. I know you can go to a concert and that
That's
sort
the
of stuff.
Sydney concert grounds.
Yeah. But
No, I
no,
don't.
that's what that was what it was what they built it for. And but so they're the men in magenta.
Okay, so you show up
Yep.
to the day.
Yeah.
Is it like a lads
You
on the
have your
piss?
magenta on.
Is it a lads on the piss?
No,
kind of day?
this is more family. Like
Oh,
you
okay.
can be lads on the piss if you really want to, but this like the BBL is very good family sort of a thing. A lot of kids, a lot of
Okay.
fun, a lot of so they hit a 6. There's fireworks going off on them.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I love what I loved about
A lot of colour and movement.
I love that.
to keep
Okay,
the
so
kids engaged.
but also me, like
Yeah.
that would keep me engaged. What I love about sport, and to be fair, I'm not that into sport. Tennis, I watch anything else. I just love the theatre of it. Like
That's all it is.
these,
the world's
the
greatest
AFL
theatre.
Grand Finals, like the Matildas at obviously, or like the entire World Cup is theatre, and it's the most insane theatre I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't write this. The tension and the like this and the that. But yeah,
There's also no, like, at an elite level, like, there's no, it's close to, in some ways, I mean, everything's got its flaws, but it's as close to a meritocracy as you're going to get. Like, in terms of, there's no one playing, playing professional level just because, they know someone or they went to the right school.
They're there because
you know what I mean? It's much harder to get away with nepotism because at a certain point,
Yeah.
once you're on the field, no one cares who your connections are.
yeah, that's true.
It's time to compete. So
Exactly.
That's the that's the thing there, and that's why it's sort of a pure drama in that sense. Like,
And
it's great.
I guess cricket's not like a blood sport, like I would argue that like NRL is.
No. Well, NRL's not a blood sport. It's much more physical contact. But cricket's like...
It's pretty
don't get me wrong,
violent.
Cricket can be, like, people get hurt. Like,
Yeah.
there's guys bowling 145k an hour
Big yikes.
with a
That's-
hard projectile,
I
and
wouldn't
they're
want-
allowed to bowl it at your body, at your head.
Ugh.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's a dangerous game in that sense, but it's also... the violence isn't the point of the game.
Yeah. But also surely you've got like your intense knowledge of sport has to come in handy at so many comedy events. Like a corporate or like you would just crush any of those.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do sportsman's lunches and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. But even then, like,
God,
everyone
like
thinks
that's a whole suite of events that I could
you-
never do.
But how many sports jokes have you seen me ever do?
I mean, I see you pretend to bat cricket bats
Yeah.
stage all the time.
Yeah, I do that. But you got to work on your cover drive no matter where you are.
Actually, a friend of mine is a really good is it cricket player? Cricketer.
Wow, you don't know much at all. do
No,
you?
no. And we always threaten to show up to his matches.
Who's he play for?
Sydney. Not
What's your
like
friend's name?
Hamish. He's not like a professional, but he
plays grade cricket?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he plays first grade?
I think so. Like he plays at that lovely oval in eastern Sydney, in the eastern suburbs of Sydney a lot.
The one on Bondi Road?
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, he'd be. That's a grade cricket ground.
But I always say that I want to show up in a really big hat with like it's the races and with like a jug of like mimosa and like some canapes and like
should.
make a whole thing of it.
You know,
Yeah.
you'd love to do that. Like, this good place to do that. It's North Sydney Oval.
Oh really?
There's the grass around the outside. There's a tree in the side
That's
of the
what
field.
you know what I need.
No, it's an old school. It's only a little ground, but it's an old school sort of a nice little place where you'd sit on the grass, throw out a picnic rug, sink a bunch of wines, and
Some seckies.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
See, I
your
love
afternoon
that.
of cricket.
I love that. I can't come at the races. It's just not my scene.
No.
But I could definitely do like getting lit at the cricket.
So
grounds.
would you do a like? I know it's not your scene, but have you had Melbourne Cup corporates or anything like that?
So I actually grew up in Muswellbrook, which is very near Scone, which is the horse capital of Australia.
No.
So
I actually did a function recently for the Muswellbrook Race Club.
Did you really?
Yeah.
In Muswellbrook?
In
Like
Muswellbrook.
at the race club?
No, not at the race club. At the RSL.
Oh my God, that's where I used to do all my Stedfords.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
What did you the last 2 years.
What were the crowd? Were they all right?
Yeah, they're good. It was their Gaul sponsors dinner, so they're really
Ooh.
nice.
Bit of fucking cash around there, like with the mines and the horses.
Yeah.
A bit of cash in the area. So we had a lot of the people that I went to school with, like their parents worked at the studs, and so it was very racehorsey sort of energy. And so we did like the horse parade, and I did a few race things there. But the short answer to your question is I've never done a Melbourne Cup corporate. I've never really like been to the races as an adult, maybe once. And like, it's just one of those things like where clearly it's just the idea is to get pissed, and then very occasionally horses will race.
Yeah, there's a lot longer between races than you think.
Yeah.
If you're not having a drink and enjoying it.
It seems to be going sort of just out of favour with people. Like,
Oh yeah, no, you're living in the inner west.
yeah, right.
You're living in a very small circle. So tomorrow, as we tape this, is there's the big race at Rosehill called the Golden Eagle,
Okay.
which to me sounds like a sex move.
You guys doing the Golden Eagle? Yeah, you?
Nah.
Yeah.
I ended up, Mrs. wasn't into it. She ended up giving me the golden slipper, which is another race.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Wait, and so what happens at the Golden Eagle?
Well, it's the second richest race in.
By the way, this is a very
Everest.
educational podcast for people who don't know anything about
I see. I'm not even that. I'm not particularly, like horse racing is not really. I'm not a big races guy, and I don't see because I don't punt really. I do occasionally, but not.
And when you say second richest, what is that? The value of the horses, the amount of money
prize money.
prize money. Okay, so if you
Prize
win, you get X million dollars.
Yeah, I forget the exact. It's a few $1 million.
Tell you what, those horses have it pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be treated like a prize racehorse. Like, I want to be like
until you get injured.
shuffled around in an air conditioned.
Mate, they do. That's the thing that that I will say is like there's bad apples in every industry.
I'm watching your brain be like, I don't want to get cancelled.
No, I don't. Well, cancelled from what? Jesus, what are they cancelling me from?
Okay, I've got a question after this.
No, my thing is, the more I have to do with people in sort of any given industry, like especially to do with animals, the people like horse racing people love horses.
Yeah,
they genuinely love their animals and they want to look after them, and they're like. So as much as there is that sort of mercantile side of it, where it's they've got to make a living, but it's not. It's not as. I find it like it's not as black and white as the caricature of like just being cruel or whatever.
completely. But, like having grown up in or gone to school in Scone's 20 minutes from where I grew up, but those horses are
they're majestic animals.
The most beautiful things. Like, because I'm a horse girl. I mean, obviously, look at me.
Yeah.
And they're something else. They're from a different planet.
There's something I will say with horse. The one thing I do like from the races is and you don't realise. I remember being a kid going to country races, and one day with the old man, and I had no idea how much noise they make coming down. Like just hearing them put down. These are like a quarter-ton animals that are going flat out, and they're all tightly bunched in together, and you hear it is a pretty impressive spectacle. In that sense.
But we should go and get dinner.
Yes, so we're going to go get dinner.
I have one question for you.
Okay, and then I've got a question for you.
Yep. If you were going to get cancelled, what do you think it would most likely be for? Like, I'm talking like not crimes, obviously, but like if you were to act, like what would the general area be?
If I was going to get cancelled,
I've got to think of an answer to this question. I reckon if I was going to get cancelled, I reckon I would just go off with the wrong person. like
diva behaviour.
yeah,
style.
like not diva, but I reckon I would like maybe like get really
going off, but making it so it seemed like diva behaviour,
and
but
someone
it's
would capture it on camera, and then they'd be like, Sarah Gaul's a nightmare. Yeah, and that's I reckon that's how I
don't know what I'd get cancelled
because I get like arced up at very specific things. So
I'd probably do something just and come off as that middle-aged white guy, and just get.
It would be like those girls at that gig that you were saying, but they would post a tiny bit out of context.
Yeah,
like,
trying to.
Yeah. And it will go viral.
But, man, if something that I did went viral, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like.
Because then you can just take the like Isaac Butterfield route.
But I wouldn't even do that. Like, I'd probably.
The thought of you as a shot comic is so funny.
Imagine that. Just
right, here's the thing about women.
Yeah, well. Listen up. That's going to be the rest of this podcast. That's what I'm changing the name of.
It'll just be you talking over the top of me. I'll be like, I have it. And you'll be like, no, love. Here's the thing.
Mansplaining
also,
with Andrew Barnett.
Because we're going to come back. What do we reckon for dinner?
Oh,
alternating chicken and steak.
Yeah, it'll be chicken. This definitely reeks of the kind of place where there'll be the chicken that's... I'm guessing like the leg and the thigh, the leg like, into the thigh,
with like a mash of some sort.
With a mash, like a puree. It won't be a potato mash. Like it'll be a
pea or like a sweet potato.
Yeah, it'll be it'll be something a little bit fancier than that. And then there'll be what you'd hope would be a gravy that went over everything, but it'll just be a jus.
Everything sits in.
But the jus was put on the plate before the mash, so you're not really even soaking up any of the goodness.
Yeah, and then the steak will be one of like these short, fat ones.
Oh yeah.
Like with
like an eye fillet type thing.
With like a gravy and like I reckon that'll be a mash, like a potato mash.
Yeah.
And then that'll be an alternating drop, and then the vegetarians will get like a really underwhelming quiche. I'm not vegetarian, but like you know how they always like are an afterthought.
Quiche. Ooh, I think it'll be a frittata.
Mum's a vegetarian and they're always afterthoughts. Like it's always like, oh, what do we got? Oh, we can chuck some eggs in there. That's a frittata. Yeah. Sorry, you had a question for me.
My mum used to call that a bacon and egg pie.
Nice.
To eat it, cause quiche.
Nice.
What are you doing, huh? Men don't eat quiche.
Yeah.
Learn that.
Quiche. Wait, you had a question for me?
Yeah, no. What is your prediction about how this gig is going to go?
Okay, so I just want to preface this with I'm really glad I'm here. But I also think it will be... I think they will be super nice.
Yep.
I think you will nail it. And I think they will be polite to me.
All right. Well, my prediction is this is where I get cancelled.
Okay. In a room in front of 32 people in a golf resort.
Yeah. The world's smallest scale cancelling.
Oh, no. Are you gonna walk around? Because you got your wireless mic. I really hope that you walk around.
I don't know if I will.
You're doing a raffle or something.
Yeah, feel the vibe. You know, or maybe it might auction some stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think this will be.
I think we'll get through it. I don't think we're going to thrive.
Yeah. Which is a win.
Yeah, I think it's a win.
Corporates.
Yep,
this will be interesting. I think there'll be some genuine confusion as to why are these people here for.
Because we don't know if we were on the
run sheet or the invitation.
Because we don't know if it was like, hey, come for like dinner and some comedy. Or
certainly the AV guy didn't know we were coming.
No, the venue didn't know. That I'm very confused by my keyboard. So
yeah, but we will check in briefly after.
Glamour.
We're going to go have some dinner. We're going to check in after.
Will you fight for the steak or the chicken?
Oh no, I'll fight. Fight.
Also, I really hope we're sitting next to each other and not like at separate tables. It might be
we have to sit with them.
Yeah, we do.
Is that one of these?
Yeah, we have to sit with them. Oh, I'm really excited for the bread roll, by the way. I saw them on the table. So. All right, let's get this bread, as it were.
Things. All right, we will be back. We'll check in and let you know how the gig went.
All right.
Unless it went horrendous and we just leave
us crying.
in shame.
No, then it'll be us in the car, just being like, guys.
Yeah, Blair Witch style.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my God.
Hit record on that.
If this is the last time that anyone hears from us, look at the back. It looks like we've parked ourselves in a forest.
Yeah, I know. This is cool. All right.
So,
we are post show.
Sorry, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
We nailed the fucking dinner. Like, I
thought you were going to say the gig.
I mean, the gig happened.
The gig happened.
But we literally down to the vegetables and the sauce.
Yes. So I had the steak because I'm the gentleman, and you had the lady meal, which is chicken. I was adjust the camera there. Yeah. Even to the puree mash. What was that?
It was a sweet potato. So it was the chicken, the exact leg that we thought, with a sweet potato mash, and then like peas and the jus that was clearly on the plate before the chicken. The only thing we got wrong was your potato was in the wrong form.
Yeah.
We thought it would be mashed. It was like a what do you call that? Like a potato lasagna.
Gratin?
Yeah.
Gratin.
I prefer potato lasagna.
Potato lasagna. Yeah.
Gratin.
It was almost a It was closer to frittata than
frittata.
Frittata.
It was a frittata.
It was but it was there was a couple of different types of potato. There was a sweet potato layer and a regular potato.
Potato two ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the gig, I think we did well.
Yeah, I thought it was hard to corporates. It's hard to tell sometimes how you're going. But I thought from the audience, you did very well.
I thought from the audience, you did very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was because you got off and you go, I have no idea how I went, and I went, okay, that might just be the vibe of the room because that's how I felt when I was on stage. But when I was watching you, I'm like, she's killing this. They're loving it.
Also, for context, it was in like a very nice function room, but the lights were very much just on. Very much just...
Well, they turned them down. Partway through my set, they turned them down to about 70%. But
I really like the people, though, because we got to literally sit and have dinner. I really like the people.
Yes.
I really liked chatting to... I was sitting
So who were we talking to? We were talking to there were some lawyers on our table.
Lawyers, 2 big tables of HR. It was like an industrial relations thing. So 2 big tables of HR, lawyers, and then our table, I actually don't know who most of it. I only talked to the people.
So there was a lawyer. The guy on my left was a lawyer.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, and then the
he did not
two
look like a lawyer.
girls around there were HR. I think one of them worked at Microsoft.
How did you find all this out?
I do a thing called listening.
Okay.
I just remember she was talking about how the Microsoft had the internal
of the worst things that everyone said. Yeah.
Facebook thing, and then
that's definitely the sort of thing we should publicize on a podcast.
Yeah, come at us, Microsoft.
Absolutely.
Well, they don't have a presence online.
That's.
I don't think.
But I think the people we spoke to most were the rugby people.
So rugby league.
Absolutely delightful.
We had people. the from the Rugby League Players Association. So
I don't know anything about rugby, but I really liked them.
Yeah, they were lovely. So I feel terrible. I'm blanking on her name. Lena.
Yeah.
So it was Lena and Clint from the Rugby League Players Association, and they're presenting tomorrow because they had a big win with their CBA. Which is a collective bargaining agreement. Do you reckon that would work in comedy?
No, because people would throw anyone else under the bus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's such an individual sport.
Yeah, there's no solidarity.
Yeah.
At all. And
it's like, hey guys, none of us are taking gigs until everyone gets paid whatever. People would just take gigs.
I'll tell you who loved you in particular was the guy from the Australian Workers Union.
Australian Workers Union all day, every day. It's so cool.
Yeah. The big guy offered to sign me up. He said, as long as you're willing to work. And I was like, no, you lost me.
No, thank you.
But yeah, the guy at the end wanted a photo.
We got a photo.
Got a photo. He loved your set. He was just loving it. He may have been from the Australian Drinkers Union the way he was loading up
putting them down.
He was.
But you know what? Like, as you said, like, if I was at a conference with people if we were at a comedians conference at a really beautiful, fancy, what is this called? Like a resort?
Yeah.
I would be paralytic by this point.
Oh yeah.
Free booze.
100%.
You just hotel room literally 100 meters from where you are. Like everyone would be on the floor, but they were all just 2 glasses of wine in. Oh, they were proper adults.
Nah. Oh, there was a few of them who were going. I reckon there'll be a couple of them that are very sore heads in the morning.
Do you reckon? But do you reckon they're waiting for us to leave before they really?
Yeah.
No.
I think they're waiting for the. I'm going to use a derogatory term. The nerds in the group to leave. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you're like, oh, there's a few of us, because you clock, it's something like that, you clock the other drinkers.
I get the vibe that people, I mean, we only left at like 10, but I get the vibe that people were starting to like wind up.
Yeah, but then that's when, see, there's two ways.
But that's what I mean.
There's the nerds wind up, and then the drinkers dig in.
Yeah.
And, I think there was a few that were looking like they were going to dig in. Okay, so the one lady I'm interested in was the lawyer I talked to at the start of my set. What was she doing during yours?
She was smiling.
Yeah.
I think probably me being a woman had a lot to do with that. Like just giving it a go on stage. That was sort of the energy I got.
Oh, no. She was very cautious in some of my bits. But she'd smile. She did the thing where she'd do the smile and almost try and hold it back like a you naughty thing. Like,
but also it's like I feel like with any individual audience member, it's like you're not the gladiator person with the thumb. Like,
oh no, she was nice about it, but I was wondering how she was reacting, because she seemed quite nervous at the start of my set.
She was fine, and then I avoided her. I won her over with my hometown, won her over with Party Shirt, and then I avoided her during Dear Keith. I just wanted to do that one because it's funny to do in a corporate setting.
Oh, dude, your hometown.
Have you heard that song before?
No,
oh,
but
really?
that's I don't know if you intentionally did. That's a very sad song. It's a really sad song. By the end of it, I'm like, oh,
it's not. I didn't make it deliberately sad. I just made it like what it was.
Give it the passage of time.
Yeah, right. Okay.
By the end of that song, I was questioning my life.
No,
I'm
because
like, maybe I should go back to it.
I thought about doing a punchline, but I'm like, there's nothing that can bring this song back, so I'm just gonna let it sit.
Yeah. Which I'm like, so let me guess, that's a festival show song?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And never play it in a spot.
I was going to say,
Because
it has that festival show like vibe. I'm like, oh, this is the poignant moment in
it's the 40-minute mark. It's the it's a mental health confession mark.
Yeah.
But no, because Muswellbrook got such an enthusiastic cheer, I'm just like, this is one of the few places I could play that song.
Yeah, but they weren't from Muswellbrook, any of them.
No, but they got it.
They got it.
They were.
No, because they're all middle-aged and regretting the passage of time. It was like, that really made me question shit. I'm like,
oh my God. No, but then I came back with Party Shirt.
Yeah, we're Party
So
Shirt.
then we can all forget. We don't dwell on it for too long.
That's what I'm going to be bloody singing the whole way
It's
home.
Friday night, everybody. It's been a really long and hard week in my hard job that I work from 9 to 5. Your turn.
I'm going to be singing it on my own. I can't sing like you can sing.
You're like this. Friday night.
But it is now almost quarter past.
Oh shit!
10, so I'm gonna
I thought I'd be
call this now.
I thought I'd be out of there. I'm gonna be honest with you by 7:45.
This is the thing. Okay. So we had 2 goes at leaving. First go, we were looking good. We did the right thing. Went over and said thanks to our host, and then they put desserts.
And also, it wasn't just dessert. It was a cheesecake and a sticky date pudding. Like you can't. That's sorry.
Well, you'd already flagged you wanted dessert, and then when I saw him put it down, I'm like, well,
we would have literally just left an uneaten dessert.
But then we got chatting to the people on our table, and it was
a good chat. I think they kind of opened up a little bit.
I think that's the longest, chat. Yeah, like longest chat I've had at a corporate with any.
Yeah, we started talking about like comedy and normal stuff. I think they were a bit
The podcast fans. Listen to podcasts.
Yeah, and they were just like, and
part of me was like, I was going to say I've got a podcast, but then I'm like, oh, imagine how weird it'd be for them to listen to this.
Get out your phone. You got to follow it. Go follow my podcast.
No, but imagine them listening to this episode, knowing that we're
talking about them.
What? They went and sat in the car and finished the podcast.
No, what I want, what I want to happen right now, I want the entire like conference to go past on their way to whatever, and just be like, is that the 2 comedians sitting in a car
talking at a phone?
We look like we're hotboxing.
Are they FaceTiming one of their mums? What's going on in that car? Hey, it went well, Mum. But we probably do have to.
We're gonna be on our way home soon.
Yeah. So before we go though, plug anything you want to plug. Thank you so much for doing this, by the way. Anything you want to plug? Either next Wednesday or the Wednesday.
Great. So December the 2nd, for the Marnie fans in Newcastle, I'm filming my first ever comedy special at Newcastle Comedy Club at 4:30 p.m, a matinee on December the 2nd, also my mother's birthday.
Is that a Saturday, Sunday?
It's a Saturday. And I can tell you that it's going to be an hour and a half with interval. and you're going to hear 16 songs.
Interval.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't left the theatre kid behind, have you?
Interval. So it's 2.5 shows that I've rewritten into one. It's going to be jam packed. If you've never seen a Sarah Gaul show before,
Is the hometown song coming out?
Yes, it is.
Bring some tissues.
Yeah, but there's 3 sad songs in there, and so I've got to.
God.
Yeah, I've got to.
You make me feel things. This is ridiculous.
I hate it. All right. Well.
Well, yeah. Get along to that. Thank you very much for doing this. This has been fun, just having someone to hang with at a corporate.
Oh, look, I think I would have died maybe if you weren't there. But also, we talked a lot about you really carried the sport conversation, so I want to thank you for that because the guy we were talking to was very, very famous and well respected in his field, and I am a ding dong, so I didn't know this. So thanks to you, I didn't make any social faux pas at all. I just figured out that he was important and then acted respectfully. Did you ever do that? Where you're just you don't realize something is important and you're sorry, we need to go. But,
find importance by context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've done that a bunch of times.
Where you don't realize you're talking to the CEO and you're like, oh God.
Yeah. No, I've done that plenty of times. Mate, thank you so much for doing this.
Pleasure.
All right, hit that and then...